All right, guys, here we go. Blitz World Series action coming at you here in the Pro Division here on the Prime map for the month of October. This is the Blitz World Series event number 12. 12 months ago, we ran our first Blitz World Series event on the Alamo map. If any of you guys remember it, hopefully you don't remember it. It was a terrible map. It made no sense, but we've come a long way since then. We were in the semifinal game. We got Latov, the Deso-King out of Kuwait in red on the left. We got Kian, the Octo-Kid, out of Russia in yellow on the right. Winner of this is going on to the finals, and tomorrow we have Marco the Goat versus Quas the Death Robot. So the winner of that game going on as well. So Marco versus Quas, Kian versus Latop. Winners are going on to the championship, which will be on Saturday around 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Losers of that going on to the third and fourth place game will also be on Saturday. So we got some good blitz action coming at you. This game was supposed to be scheduled for tomorrow, but we've got 100 live viewers in Twitch. I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure. I think I was wearing my special black shirt today. Maybe that's what got it going. So we decided to run this game early. Latov and Kian, they're both hungry, both looking to prove themselves. So far, you know, we've got Marco. Marco wins every other month, basically. But we've had Kian and Latov both had some pretty, both had won as well. Obviously, Kian was, you know, kind of the crazy blitz player for a while. Then Marco came on. Latov, one of the newer guys on the scene. Latop in with that early pressure now. Does take out a War Factory, but Kian had one right behind it, so Kian's still on a War Factory. Love this pressure, though, from Latop coming right at Kian. Not able to hold that War Factory, though. Now, Eagle gets in and snipes out a Rhino, so now Kian needs to be a bit careful. He is out-tanked in this position, so now Latov takes the higher ground, now clicking down the tanks. Ooh, and clicks down the tanks very, very nicely. Now Latov is ahead in this position, bringing in another tank to reinforce. Kian trying to use his Eagle defensively to help hold this position here. Okay, and now, so Latov now pulling out. So now both players on two War Factories. Kian scraping the bottom of the barrel. He's put a lot of money into defensive efforts at this point, and it's really costing him. Running out of money in this position is going to slow down his production. Anytime you guys see that money bottoming out, it means that you're not producing. It means that you're not producing at full speed. Now you see Kian trying to sell off some sentry guns. He needs to keep the Rhinos pumping. Against a player like Latov, going down any amount of Rhinos is going to be a scary position to get into. Latov now with enough money to start bringing some dogs into the fight, bringing conscripts actually instead. So now this fodder advantage, Latov's going to be looking to take another bite, and Kian just trying to gear up his forces. Kian now bringing conscripts in as well. Surprised to not see Kian go for dogs in this position. But yeah, oh nice. Kian hops up on the higher ground here, but the conscripts doing some work holding that top line. They do put Kian out of position. Now Latov coming on the top side, needs to be careful. We've talked about this zone of the map is so tricky. Tanks can get strung out. We've seen a lot of players lose games trying to go up this hill, and they get their tanks in the, what do we call it? The assembly line of death? That's what we call it. So this one is Soviet versus Soviet. After this, we'll be switching over to Allied versus Allied. This is best of 7. Again, guys, to decide who goes on to the championship. Any of you guys unfamiliar with this map, you do start with an eagle pad on the top side, so that's why Soviet has these eagles. We have a tech building that we came up with that you start with, so you got those eagles out, oil on the bottom side as well, and we do see Latov now jumping over to the bottom half of the map and now producing out of that War Factory, trying to bring a split and trying to thin Kian out a little bit. Kian, what are we looking at these tank numbers? Looks like Kian is out-tanked in this position, but pushing into sentry guns, Latov not feeling confident, apparently, looking to slow things down a little bit here. Both these players generally play a very Rhino-heavy Soviet, although it's a bit surprising to see Latov not bringing a Desolator in. Latov, of course, the Deso-King. He just can completely swing games with those Desolators, but against a player like Kian, you know, if you go off your War Factories and you go over to Radar Tech, and try to get the Desos, you can start to fall behind on Rhinos. And I guess apparently Latov's not comfortable doing that because he's just going straight Rhinos right now on 6 War Factories, and he's 2 War Factories up on Kian. So a couple of those offensive hits early on definitely slowed Kian down. His economy got out of shape early, and now he's paying the price. Heavily out-tanked on the bottom side now. Kian on 8K though. So plenty of the money in the bank, so Kian can start spamming those sentry guns in this position, and he's going to need them. Sentry guns out to help hold, and incredible unit control on that bottom side from Kian. Latov was out-tanking in that position, but Kian getting a lot of value out of his sentry guns. Now Latov adjusting the action to the top side, using that higher ground, takes out the sentry gun, and now going to work a little bit here, but decides to pull out of that position. I think he was slightly out-tanking, but he was out-tanking on the bottom side and wasn't able to get anything done either. Decides to push right into all the sentry guns. A bit of a questionable move, but does catch Kian out of position. Now Latov pushing on the bottom side as well, so simultaneous attacks, and Kian gets overwhelmed, and Latov puts the first one on the board. Soviet versus Soviet, very, very nice. All right, so here we go now over to Allied versus Allied, and this is when things are going to get a little bit interesting, and I think Latov probably felt that pressure of how important it was to get that first point, Soviet versus Soviet, because as the factions start differentiating away from Soviet versus Soviet, things go down quickly for Latov, just specifically because he's a Soviet player. He's a ride-or-die Soviet player. In traditional, he won't even play other factions. I mean, except in extreme cases, maybe a naval map. So he's much more comfortable with Soviet, so really important for Latov to get that first win. Kian, of course, has been playing Blitz much longer, so with that experience, Kian has definitely demonstrated an ability to have a more diverse portfolio and have some really interesting allied looks. Now, with that being said, when I say Latov is a Soviet preferred player, Latov has won a Blitz World Series event, and he's one of the top 4 Blitz players in the world. So he can obviously play both factions, but I think just slightly less favored possibly in these matchups. But after that first point, it looks like all the momentum's in Latov's corner. So we'll see what Kian can pull out here. Kian does put himself a little bit broke. Opening Eagles and Grizzlies is very, very tough, and oftentimes Allied versus Allied, that's what we're talking about. It's a game of economy and money management early on. Now the Patriot missile for both players out early. Latov going 2 of them to deal with Kian's heavy Eagle opening here, but Kian just dead broke. I'm not sure. I mean, Kian's the kind of guy, he plays so much. He has all these lines prepped. I'm not sure. It's weird to see Kian go broke because he had a plan. He's not just whimsically hopping in here and pulling a build out of his ass. Like he's done this build before, so I'm not exactly sure what he thought. In some cases, you go broke for a little bit and it's worth it. In this case, Kian's been broke for so long. He's struggling to even repair this barracks. He's trying to get an IFV. He's not even building an IFV. I don't know why that Rocky's leaving. No reason to send the Rocky home. There was no anti-air. All right, so the Eagle's coming out. Kian, in this position, sometimes you can put one thing on hold or something like that. Gets 3 Eagles over, does grab the AFC. So AFC Wars, Allied versus Allied, it's a story we've seen before. It's a story we'll see again. Controlling your opponent's AFC, getting control of the skies early makes a huge, huge difference. Latov out with a few Rockies uncontested now. Going to head down. Oh, no, the Patriot missile going to take them both out. Ooh, Latov loses both those. Loses a couple Rockies for nothing. So now Kian's economy catching up with him. Now the magical number for Eagles is 5. When you have 5 Eagles, you can start hitting oils, you can start hitting war factories. This is about the most beautiful oil I've ever seen in my life. If you got 5 Eagles and you grab that oil, you're going to take the barracks and the AFC with it. So Kian needs to get his 5 Eagles out ASAP and start getting some offensive value out of it, because Kian is ahead on Grizzlies, which you expect. Latov ahead on Grizzlies. Kian went those early Eagles. It did cost him his economy, and he's paying the price. Oh, and he loses an AFC, couple Eagles on the pad. Devastating. Kian, Kian just not quite quick enough on the click right now, and Latov's playing some really, really strong blitz. Okay, so now Kian, can he get his 5th Eagle and make something? And just like that, it swings. Latov now honestly controlled of the skies right now. Can he get this oil? That's the question. 5 Eagles in, they grab it, they take the AFC, the barracks, and they cancel his out. But Kian, looked like Latov was able to take Kian's AFC before that happened. So that was the offensive punch that Kian needed. But Latov ahead right now on Grizzlies. So now the AFC race starts all over again, but Kian definitely ahead because Latov had to rebuild his barracks first. So Kian can get control of the skies. He will be able to, should be able to pull ahead in this game, certainly. And it's very surprising to see Latov hanging so strong, Allied versus Allied here. This is one of the faction matchups where you expect Latov to be the least comfortable, but he's playing, and he's not just playing like, kind of a Soviet-style Allied. Like, he's not just massing Grizzlies. Latov's using his Eagles, using his Rocketeers, and playing some strong AVA as he switched over to Battle Lab Tech. So Latov, 9K in the bank, Battle Lab Tech as we hit the 4-minute mark, and Latov's got to be feeling pretty comfortable here, to be honest. The Mirage tanks and the Prism tanks are going to be coming soon. Now, what's keeping Kian in this game is the Eagles right now, and he needs to keep chipping away at Latov's economy. A couple oils here. Oh, that's some big chain reactions. Yep, takes 3 oils and a power. I mean, even if he would have lost all of his Eagles, that would have been a pretty strong exchange. And Latov's going to need to get a lot more careful with his oil builds. That's 2 times that Kian's kind of caught him with his pants down a little bit there. Oil is just a little bit out of place in very vulnerable positions. with some nice chain reactions and very good map awareness from Kian for making him pay the price for those. Now, Kian is keeping himself in the game with those offensive hits, but he is radically behind on tech tanks, and this is one of those positions where Latov might already have enough to push, to be perfectly honest. Kian trying to continue the harassment on his economy, gets in there, not able to get that oil. So both players now feeling it a little bit as they start pumping these prism tanks. If you're pumping air units and prism tanks, your money goes quick. Both players feeling it, but they're straddling. They're at 5K. They're looking pretty good. But Latov might get in trouble here. He's already lost 4 oils. And remember, guys, AVA, these AVA at the pro level is a marathon, not a sprint. These are the longest splits matchups we have. We've had games go 10, 15 minutes before. And in those games, remember, you can only build a total of 12 oils per game. Not you can have 12 out, you can only build a total of 12. No anti-air in this group, tries to get in and take a bite with those Rockies. Ooh, but now the Rocky's up. Yeah, and he is out Rocky, needs to be careful. So you can only build a total of 12 oils. So in these games, AVA at the top level, the meta that we've slowly seen start to get established is harass your opponent's oils one by one. Eventually, they'll run out of oils to build, and they'll run out of money, and they'll you know, the game can end that way. Last month on the Surge map, we had a couple AVA games that went like that. Rockies now pushing in. Rockies dive on the AFC. These Rockies are uncontested. Oh, they set the Patriot Missile. I forgot about the Patriot Missile. That's why he's not using his Rockies. And Kian's Rockies, Kian's control here is a little bit questionable. Now the Rockies in. And AVA, the big thing is just to time it perfectly where you throw those Rockies in, you jump on your opponent's Prism tanks, and swing it from there. Prism tanks are so weak, so they really require a lot of micro, and your opponent always trying to look for a gap in the armor to jump in and take them out. Offensive paradrop, bottom left, not going to get much done. Now we are going to see Kian trying to take a bite here. Remember, guys, these guys are gapped up right now, so they don't know what they're pushing into. And had Kian known what he was pushing into, I don't think he would have done that. Kian's Rockies just a little bit late. Kian's Rockies a half a second, 2 seconds earlier. That would have been 4 or 5 Prism tanks that would have gone down. And now Kian, without much of an army, but both guys are gapped up, so remember that. That's why the AVA, sometimes it looks a little sloppy and a little confusing, and that's the reason for that. These guys are pushing into gapped up bases. They don't know what the opponent has, and it makes it incredibly difficult to make those calculations when you're flying blind. 9 Eagles coming in. They grab an oil. Not a great decision there. That oil did not take the AFC, but Kian has a very obvious strategy right now. He's going to try to take out all the oils. And again, Latov brings his Prisms in unsupported and pays the price for him. Prisms now coming on the back right. Nice little split from Latov, but Kian moves the MCV, able to save it. It's only a couple Prism, what do we call them? What's a Prism tank shoot? Prism bolts? It's only a couple Prism bolts to take out an MCV, so Kian, very nice move there, getting that MCV out of the way. Wow, action rolling on here. We are at the 8-minute mark in this game. Latov seems like he's ahead in some ways, but he's not quite getting the value that he needs. Oh, this could be juicy. That oil would have been nice. So Prism bolts shoot through cliffs, which is kind of an interesting note, and they don't get as quite... I mean, they get a range bonus, but the Prism tanks can shoot through cliffs nicely. Now, Latov is dead broke, and he's lost a lot of oils. And Kian understands the assignment very well here. He's just going to keep throwing Eagles recklessly downfield and sniping out these oils. And Kian going hunting bottom left. 2 Prisms going to take another oil. And Latov can... Oh, is he going to lose it? Is he going to lose it? Is he going to lose it? Oh my god, he loses. So close, so close. Oh, that was a razor-thin margin. Oh, and now Latov going to... Oh, Latov, okay, back to defend now. Latov... Man, a bit of a Rocky advantage. Both players are using their Rockies kind of in the DMZ and not pushing with them because of the Patriot missiles. Both players have quite a few Patriot missiles on these front lines here. Yeah, so Ed calling it 80% for Kian, and yeah, you gotta feel that because of the oil hits, AVA, that's what we've seen before at the pro level. When you start and Latov's broke, even if Latov had money in the bank, the problem is his economy is gonna be dwindling. He's already feeling it, but another nice push on the bottom side. Players playing both sides of this map nicely. This map, you know, the top part of this map does get a little bit congested, but it is kind of fun that it has this opening down here for the players to kind of split and mix things up. And I'm surprised to see Kian push here, because Kian doesn't need to push, right? Kian now in with the Rockies. Kian can just sit back and just keep bombing. And Kian, both players, Kian's broke as well. Kind of interesting to see Kian broke in this position, because Latov hasn't taken that many oils from him. And that's what Kian's big advantage here is that Kian can keep building oils. Latov's probably maxed out on his oils. Kian now keys to the kingdom, goes in, gets the Weather Storm. I didn't even realize there was a Weather Storm, to be perfectly honest. You can only build 12 total per game. It's not 12 on the map at one time. It's only 12 total per game. Yep. So this could potentially be it here. Yeah, and that's why we did the oil cap, so that we don't have these games go forever, basically. I mean, that's as simple as that. You know, if there wasn't an oil cap, these games could go forever. In the regular Red Alert 2, obviously, you have the natural crescendo in the game by the ore kind of running out. Kind of gives a natural kind of ending. But yeah, in Blitz, we had to add that oil limit for that specific reason. So Kian is able to slowly take out those oils. Had a very obvious plan there, and it worked out for him. We're going to get Monster in here eventually. Monster 12 months ago, Monster played Blitz. Monster was in Blitz World Series event #1. Blitz World Series event #1 was Monster's debut. I think he got in the game, and I explained it to him. And then, if I recall correctly, I think Monster got in the game and said, LOL, WTF, where's the ore? And then I think he quit and never talked to me again. I can't remember exactly, something like that. All right, here we go. So, point number 3 now. We're going to go to swapped factions to finish this one out best of 7. So they won't be mirroring again. They'll be trading Soviet and Allied back until if we get to match point, in which case at match point the players pick their own factions. So again, guys, the winner of this is going on to the championship, which will be on Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And they will be playing the winner of tomorrow's game, Quas versus Marco. Quas versus Marco tomorrow, with both winners going on Saturday to the championship, losers going on to the 3rd and 4th place game. Kian going to open some GIs on this map, and a very heavy GI opening. We've seen players kind of mix and match at the higher level here. A lot of players only opening, you know, maybe 6 or 7 GIs just to kind of bring in, maybe feint a GI rush, bait a couple defensive structures, maybe try to get some early value. This is a fairly heavy GI opening. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, about 20 GIs coming out now for Kian. He does get in and grabs that eagle pad, which is nice. Not only does it prevent the eagle, but it kind of locks in the Soviet player. We've talked about on this map, your starting position is very defensible, but you do have to spread yourself out. You can't obviously build oils right next to yourself, as we saw Laptop making the mistake last time. GIs get around the backside. He might try to dive on this power plant. Does dive on the power plant. Oh, saves that power plant, and Kian wanted that so bad. Now those are the decisions that make or break. That's what makes you from a good player to an amazing player. Right there, 9 out of 10 people, right, would have tried to go in and finish off the power plant. You see that 1 tick of health, and you just get hungry and you want it. The Grizzlies would have got demolished, and Latov would have counterpunched, and Kian probably would have lost the game on that decision. But like I said, many players would have done that just because it was so tempting. So Kian, a lot of self-control there, pulling out, not diving on that power plant. I know, Monster. I'm messing with you, Monster. I like that story better. Like, LOL, where's the ore? Peace. I can't remember what happened. I'm sure it was buggy. That was the first Blitz map 12 months ago. It was totally nonsensical. It was such a stupid map. All right, Eagles coming in, getting some value now. So Kian with 5 Eagles in the sky, and Allied versus Soviet. Step number 1 is resist the early Rhino pressure. And now it used to be that you'd see the Allied player turtling. Yeah, that was like, okay, what do you do? Spam pillboxes, stay alive. But now we've seen this new meta develop where the Allied player goes offensive early on with the GIs, brings the action to the Soviet player side of the map, and just kind of delays them. Like, they don't have to end the game with the GIs. They don't even have to get that much value. They just have to delay until the end game. But these Rhinos in the back of the base, uncontested. Kian so slow on the click here. Gets the Eagles in the sky, but not able to dive. Yeah, he's in Latov, because Latov just heavily out-tanked in this position. Maybe Kian was baiting him. Honestly, Kian may have been baiting there. I mean, it worked for me. I thought Latov should go in. Obviously, he shouldn't have. Latov has his tanks split up, but he's out-tanked on both fronts, and the GIs supporting as well, just devastating in this position. And the Soviet player now kind of in the pressure cooker, because you can't really turtle because the Eagles are coming, right? So you're just going to keep picking off your oils. Yeah, and Kian, I love this aggression from Kian, looking really, really strong. And Latov, though, this is, this is the preferred faction for Latov. I mean, Latov more comfortable with Soviet. So it is interesting to see him. If he loses this point, then he's going to have to try to win the next one with Allied. He can put himself in a tricky position. Definitely wants to be winning his favored faction matchups here, but Kian making it incredibly difficult. And again, Latov with some very scary oil placements here. This oil specifically would take probably a war factory and a barracks with it. So Kian happy now just to pull back and hold this position. He knows he can be getting his value from the skies. Kian needs to be considering getting a little bit more defensive in this position. Latov now trying to look for an opening. Going to go down the middle. We don't see many people using this part of the map, but it can be nice. He got a couple free shots down the cliff there. And Kian going to continue to pump GIs in this position. And again, we see no Desolator from the Deso-King. Look at this initiate. Look at this AI initiative chasing down Latov right now. The AIs are really annoying because you don't auto-target them, so they can be a bit of a pest. Okay, yeah, and the Eagle's going to continue to get value here. And Kian, you just kind of see Kian like, sit behind your walls, man. I'm going to starve you out with my Eagles. So now Battle Lab out for Kian, and so we all know things are going to get slowly worse here for the Soviet player as the Mirages and Prism tanks enter the field here. So Latov dead broke, right? Kian just continuing to harass from the top side. Latov going to shift down to the bottom here. Kian does not want to take a base trade in this position. And now one Prism tank on the top side. Look at that one Prism tank splitting off. Does grab the Desolator. And so I'm surprised to see Kian not go another AFC here is kind of interesting. I would expect, so Kian on 20k. Kian's on 20k right now. And so now you see Latov. This is one of those positions where Latov's like, okay, I can't really push, but I can't afford to not push. If I push, it probably won't work. If I don't push, it definitely won't work. Because Latov doesn't have the money to tech up. So the Iron Curtain, maybe some Dreadnoughts. There's a couple things like that could work for Latov, but another couple of oils lost. I don't know. What can Latov do? What can Latov do? I mean, gear up a Deso Bomb, recklessly push in, and hope Kian makes a blunder, which he's not known for. And instead, Kian getting aggressive here. Look at this push from Kian. Why would he push into this bunker? Why would he push uphill? Why attack? As this is just total, doesn't make any sense to me. Does Latov a huge favor there. If there's a time to attack, now it's got to be. Latov just got a little bit of value out of his defensive structures. The Mirage is melting these Rhinos. Tons of fodder for Kian. It's not going to work, but I mean, I think this is the only window of opportunity Latov's going to get here. Prism Tower out for Kian as well. And wow, Kian, a very aggressive allied, but I mean, just systematically breaks down Latov from beginning to end of that game. Very well played. Yeah, so on this Prime map, I always forget to tell people because at the top level it's pretty much irrelevant. We have had some lower division guys use it, but Yuri's Palace in the middle here, if you take it over with an engineer, you can build a Yuri Prime. I know all the YouTube comments are always like, the building, like no one's using the building, you should make it launch nukes and take the timer. Like everyone always wants the middle building to get used, but the point is, I'm trying to play, like, this is the regular game, is player versus player. The random thing in the middle, it's just kind of like a little curveball, right? At the lower levels, sometimes it's funny. We saw Artie take over Zed's MCV with a Yuri Prime today. So it's just kind of a random Hail Mary thing, adds a little color to the map, mixes things up, and, if someone's feeling like getting weird, they can. But we don't want it to be like an every game kind of thing, battle for the Yuri Prime. That's really not what this is about. So now Latov going to pay back the favor with his own GI rush, but Kian, GI rushing Kian is tough. I think Kian's one of the faster sentry gun layers in the game right now. There are only 3 skills in the game: deploying your MCV, tank battles, and building sentry guns. I'd say those are the 3 things. I'm just kidding. Those are like the 3. There's other things in the game, but spamming sentry guns is definitely a valuable tool to have in your arsenal, particularly at the top level and on maps like this where the GI rush is so expected and strong. Now, Kian does put himself broke, but Kian has 4 Rhinos in this position. Ooh, and a nice snipe with that Eagle trying to thin these Rhinos out. GI's adjusted to the top side now, does take out the GIs, so Kian holds the position. So like we talked about before, though, the question is, now the GI rush is over, who's ahead? You got to do a quick head count here. Latov on more money, but ultimately has delayed the early storm, because if you don't try to get in the Soviet player's face, the Rhinos on your doorstep can be hugely problematic. Now Latov with no pillboxes down now, and he's going to need a couple in this position. First pillbox out, and Kian wants to get some value here. Counterpunch coming. Ooh, and Latov gets himself away from his pillboxes. Yeah, Kian not able to get any value here. Okay, and so now, yeah, another little bite. Laptop does, Kian does a great job kind of cleaning out those pillboxes and keeping the door open for when he does want to attack. Yeah, and could have, and that's one of those positions you saw Kian for a second there. All of his tanks got strung in that straight line. Could have been really, really nice for Latov to kind of pick on that, but Latov just doesn't really have the Grizzlies, so you see him now building blocking, just kind of like throw his buildings like, hey, take my buildings, because you can't really sacrifice your tanks. Oh, and the MCV going down, and very, very tough position for Latov. And Latov goes down, and 3 on the board for the Octo-Kid. Wow. And this is, so a bit unexpected here. I'm interested to hear some of you guys in chat who kind of follow it closely as well. Kian. The last couple months, we haven't really seen Kian looking very strong. A few months ago, of course, Kian was the favorite. I didn't think anyone could ever beat Kian. But the last couple months, Latov and Marco have just been looking quite a bit stronger than Kian. I'm a bit surprised to see this. All right, so now Latov, Deso-King with Soviet, but just, this was the matchup we just saw 2 points ago where it's just a complete breakdown from the first MCV deploy until the GG. Every single thing Kian did was perfectly what Latov didn't want him to do, and Latov didn't have any answers. So I think against a strong GI rush, I like this idea, giving up the Eagle pad and trying to just redraw the line in the sand. But this doesn't make sense to me. I would try to use the elevation, put sentries on the hill, use that elevation. Trying to engage the GIs on flat ground doesn't make sense to me if you're already going to pull back, because being up on the hill does give you that slight range advantage. So the Eagle pad's going to go down. Now, Latov, if Latov doesn't have enough sentries to hold, he doesn't have enough rhinos to counterpunch. So, I don't know, boys. I don't know. This is going to be a tough one. The GIs do get a nice bundle here. He runs over most of them, but pays quite a few rhinos. And now Kian on 6 Grizzlies. Where did those 6 Grizzlies come from? Kian going to push in here. Latov going broke. Can he get another sentry gun out? He's going to need another one too. Does he have the money for this? It's going to come down to money in this position here. Another rhino. And conscripts over. Latov pulling everything he has. Kian still has some money in the bank, and Kian chooses to pull out, now picking on that barracks. Very unfortunate to lose that barracks right now. Latov just doesn't have the money. That's going to cancel out the sentry guns as well. So now Latov's stuck rebuilding his barracks, and I am sweating for Latov right now. It's like being in a knife fight with an octopus in a dark room, coming at you from all sides. Kian looking so tough right now, and the Deso-King just struggling a little bit, and you gotta wonder, whoever has to face, well, I shouldn't say it's over yet. Latov, we've seen crazier things happen, but whoever has to face Kian on this map in the championship's in for a tough one. All right, so Latov gonna go for the back door now. Surprised to see Kian not responding to this faster. Latov's gonna get the MCV. Oh, Latov gets the MCV. Now, can Latov continue the push? Does Latov pull back? Latov's tanks, the pathing a little bit confused. Now they're coming down the center, and the GI's pushing in. So Latov now just has to try to hold this position. He's up in MCV, and he will be able to hold a nice batch of rhinos. And that's really what we're talking about, Allied versus Soviet. People say, Ivor, the GIs are too strong. I'm like, it's all the Allies have early on. The GIs have to be strong. Because ultimately Rhinos versus Grizzlies is such a mismatch that the conscripts versus GI is very similar. And again, Latov, very, very questionable oil builds, and Kian just exposing those openings. Now, Latov is open up in MCV. If the longer the game goes, the more it will be in his favor. Unfortunately, an allied player with a barracks, a war factory, 5 eagles, and infinite money, it's not GG. It's not GG, unfortunately, in this position. Latov's still going to have to try to convert this. If he can take out one of these 3 buildings, it'll go radically in his favor. But as long as Kian has barracks, war, and AFC, it's going to help. And Kian throws all 5 eagles, doesn't get the war factory. And Kian's going to gear up another punch here, and Latov just has to try to hold the line. And again, we see the Deso-King not using Desolators. But the one thing to note, any of you guys who are confused why we're not seeing more Desolators, at the top level, the allied player managing snipers effectively, the Desolators lose almost all of their value. It's very, very difficult to use them in when you're facing an allied player. And again, now you see so keying out with the snipers, and that's why you see Latop not really messing with it so much. Those are now sniper IFVs, going to clean up all of the fodder that Latop has. And a good thing Latop's not listening to me, because his Desolators would have been dead now. So 5 Eagles coming again, looking for a target. The flak tracks catch him though, and the flak track's going to take these Eagles down before they can even get downfield. Takes 2, 3, 4. Very, very nice from Latop, keeping an eye on those Eagles. Good map awareness. All right, here we go. GI's pushing in. The GI's doing work right now. The GI's doing work. And now, so Latop is preparing some Desolators on the backside. And Latop just playing the higher ground, spamming these sentry guns. Oh my god. And look at this push. Look at this uphill push from Kian. Incredible, incredible. But Latop, surely Kian cannot pull this off, right? Surely. I mean, the GI is getting so much value, but this uphill push into these sentry guns, Latop just knows I just have to hold my MCV. It's as simple as that. Let him do whatever else he wants. Just hold the MCV. Latop, of course, on a few war factories now as well. And now Latop does Latop have to think about a counterpunch, or can he literally just hold this, continue to hold this until Kian dies, until Kian just literally mentally exhausts himself? You know, the problem is, if Latop lets off this front, Kian might be able to hop in and make something happen. So Latop, I think, just can spam sentry guns and just take a breath here and try to slow down this game. As I say that, Latop is preparing a split. Now 4 Rhinos on the backside, going to try to get in and make something happen. Kian's defenses are out of line. The GIs now trying to come back to defend. Again, guys, any one of these 3 buildings goes down, and Latop's going to get a huge leg up. He dives on the AFC. The GIs are coming. It's going to be so close. Oh, he gets it. And very, very nice from Latop getting down there and making that happen. Now, that cancels out the Eagles, obviously one of the primary offensive tools that Kian still had. It also cancels out his ability to build snipers. So now, once this sniper dies, Latop can bring Desolators in and pretty much close out this game. And it's difficult to kind of appreciate the rock, paper, scissors nature of it. When there are snipers, Desolators are almost unable to be used against a good player. When there are no snipers, GIs almost become completely ineffective. So we'll see if Latop realizes that that situation has happened, and if he can get this Desolator in the game, clean out these GIs, and ultimately close out this game. Desolator now coming to the front lines. He's been on a smoke break for an hour. Now he's coming up. Latop baiting a little bit, letting the GIs push up. Oh, the sniper killed the Desolator. That one sniper. Latop has to kill this one. Oh, it's a sniper IFV as well. Damn. Oh my god. The sniper IFV and the sniper, yeah, and Latop can just continue. Look at these Rhinos. How is Kian even making this a game? All right, Kian quits. Oh my god. Against any other players, if you showed that screenshot, you'd be like, why is this guy so excited? Clearly this is not a real game. But Kian, the way that Kian can hang in a game like that with so little going for him. All right, so here we go. Now it is match point if Kian can win this. Obviously best of 7. So if Kian can win it, that'll be it. If Latop can win this one, of course, we're gonna go to point number 7. Now Latop, because he lost, you know, that one-time Soviet versus Allied, now he's a little bit struggling. He's in the pressure cooker because he's now Allied. Obviously, the Deso-King would prefer to be Soviet, but Latop's certainly proven himself to be playing on both factions. Kian looking so strong today. Yeah, any of you guys who kind of missed the drama a little bit, Kian, as I mentioned, last couple months, Kian's been a little AFK. Kian got a girlfriend, which I was really excited about. He's like, hey man, I'm a little distracted. I got a girlfriend. I'm like, dude, that's great. 15-year-old kid, as much as I would love you to prioritize this 20-year-old video game for my entertainment, your girlfriend's more important. And then this month, Kian and his girlfriend broke up. And so Kian's been streaming and playing a lot more Red Alert 2, and it's certainly showing right now. So step 1, guys, if you do want to go pro and blitz, if that's your main goal in life, which obviously it should be, you can't get a girlfriend, man. They're going to be the end of us. Snark, remember Snark? You guys remember Snark? I don't. He got a girlfriend, never saw him again. All right, here we go. So Kian early in with these Rhinos, just trying to go on a little scenic tour, bait pillboxes all over the place here. Look at that, just out of range of the pillbox on the bottom side, picking off Grizzlies on the top side, and Latop just going crazy with pillboxes right now. Latov will build a million pillboxes. He just has to hold the early position, and like we said, it's so hard to do. And Latov doesn't open GIs. So last point, Allied versus Soviet, he tried to open GIs. It didn't work, and he went broke. So, you know, one move, use your money on your GIs, try to slow down the game, try to get offensive value. Strategy number 2 for Allied is the pillbox. I mean, spam pillboxes. Save your money and spam pillboxes. So Latov going for that one. The MCV looking a little naked here. Looking a little bit naked. Nice pillbox on the hill. Ooh, but Latov's Grizzly's a bit out of position here. Oh, and now 4 Rhinos uncontested. Keys to the kingdom. MCV, 1 Rocketeer. It's up to you, Rocketeer. Latov running with the MCV. A valiant effort, but not going to work. And surely that is going to be GG's as the War Factory goes down. And yeah, left with a barracks and an AFC. Latov's calls GG. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The Octo-Kid 4-2 taking down Latov.
The kids are coming for you.